she's helped so many customers, so many customers. She's one of our highest customer acquisition numbers in the team. She's doing an incredible job. She will help you explain how that all works. And I would just like to introduce Rachelle, Hanania.
Feeling so fly like a G6. Sipping on six. I'ma make it fit. Girl, I keep it gangsta. Popping bottles at the crib. This is how we live every single night.
How's everyone doing this evening? Hope everyone's having a really, really good evening. We've had such great energy on the call, from Nancy to Ian. Ian, before I get started, thank you so much for the introduction and for going through how simple it is to get the bonuses and sharing with us, our top producing leaders in the organization. So thank you so much for setting the stage and setting the energy. Alrighty, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Rachelle Hanania. I'm a regional director in this organization. Been in the business for 5 years now. And as Ian says, customer acquisition is what I like to do and what I do best. So what I'm going to do is let me share my slide real quick and let's get straight into it. Righty. Can you guys see my screen? Yes, thumbs up. Awesome. Alrighty. So we heard a lot about bonuses. We heard a lot about, we heard some testimonies, and most of what we heard about was about energy. Everyone loves energy. Everyone says energy is, a really easy service to get. And, tonight I'm going to go through some slides regarding Alinta Energy, which is one of our energy providers here in Connection. And let's talk about Alinta Energy and let's talk about why Alinta Energy. So why we choose Alinta Energy, there's multiple reasons. A few highlights is that they're Aussie-based support. So when you call the support center, they're based in Australia. You get access to a pretty nifty Alinta Energy rewards system. So you get some discounts and whatnot, which I'll explain in the next slides. You also have no credit card fees on your bills. They're award-winning. It takes a few minutes to do the switch to Alinta, and best of all, you're not locked into any contracts. So let's talk about the Alinta Energy reward system. So once you become Alinta Energy customer, or one of your referrals becomes an Alinta Energy customer, they get access to what they like to call the Alinta Energy reward system. And what that is it gives you access to some pretty nifty discounts on everything from attractions to movies to gift cards and so much more. So, please feel free to take a screenshot of this if you want to. But there's a lot of nifty discounts that come up, and it's just one of the perks that we get as being an Alinta Energy customer. Another perk, and what most people like these days, is access to things on their app. So access to things on their phone. And what Alinta Energy has is they've launched a new application, which we have access to now that we're Alinta Energy customers. And what that app gives you access to, it allows you to go through, your history, your bill history, get access to the reward system. You can manage your payments, your billing preference, your direct debit, and so much more. But one thing that I really, really like is you're actually able to track your energy usage. So say, for example, if you're on a smart meter, you can go in and you can say, right, yesterday I went crazy on using my ducted air conditioning or my washing machine or my dishwasher, etc., etc. Let me go in and see how much energy I've used. So you can actually go back and you can check your daily usage that you've used for that day. So you can go ahead and, put a ballpark figure in your mind and say, okay, right, so I've used this much energy. This is how much it's cost me. So it's just another way of, helping you, what's the right word to use? Helping you manage your bill better. With everything being so expensive these days, this is just another tool that Alinta gives us access to. So why am I so excited about this Alinta Energy app? Well, main reason is, so you've got some exciting news, you've got access to an Alinta Energy app. Guess what you're going to do? You're going to use an excuse and you're going to give your customers, your existing Alinta Energy customers, a call, and you're going to say, hey, guess what? What Alinta just did? They launched a new application. And then once you're speaking to them, oh, how's things going with Alinta? And then guess what you ask them? If they say everything's happy chappy, they're excited about the news that Alinta has launched a new application, guess what you're going to do? You're going to seize the moment, you're going to take the opportunity, you're going to ask them, hey, by the way, just wondering if you know of any other people, your family or friends that might be interested in saving on some energy customers. So you go out there, you seize that opportunity and you ask them for a referral. Now, another reason, let me switch. There we go. Some nice little, there you go. That was pretty nice. So the next thing that I want to go through is, you may or may not have noticed, but a few days we got an email which was sent out from the Connection head office letting us know that we as IBOs have access to what they like to call invitation-only rates from Alinta Energy. So what that means is that they're exclusive rates that we have available to us. Now, these rates are pretty competitive in the market at the moment. And the best part about that the whole part is that we as IBOs, we don't actually have to pay anything extra to get access to these exclusive deals or invitation-only deals from Alinta. It's all part of the package. So they get new rates. We can put our customers on these new rates. We can, you know what, it's fantastic. Like the opportunity is endless. So let's go through and just have a look at the invitation only rates that we have here from Connection. You can take a screenshot of this. I'm not going to go through each and every single one of them, but here's a snapshot of the Connection invitation only rates for electricity across the 4 different states. I'll wait for a moment, take a screenshot. Awesome. Alrighty, let's go ahead to the next one. Here's a snapshot of the Connection invitation only rates for gas across the 4 different states. So you can take a screenshot of that. And let's go through and have a look at some how Alinta sits in the market across the different states. So here's a bill where you can see where this is a comparison between Origin and Alinta. And as you can see, the rates that are highlighted in yellow, it doesn't take a genius to show that, you know what, the Alinta rates are actually quite competitive. And they're cheaper than what Origin is offering. So you can go ahead and just do a simple comparison for your friends and family and just show them the different rates that Alinta is offering. Now the same applies, now the same applies for Victoria. Actually, Victoria is one of the most competitive that Alinta has across the 4 different states. So if you're in Victoria or if you know anyone in Victoria, their rates are absolutely phenomenal. So if I were you, apart from reaching out to the other 4 states, I would go hard with Victoria. Their rates are absolutely phenomenal, as you can see here from the screenshots. Same goes for Queensland. They've got really, really, really great competitive deals. So you can go ahead and have a look at this and you can take a screenshot of this if you like, but you can clearly see that their rates are much more competitive. Now, how do you direct your friends and your family? How do you direct them on your storefront on where they can find the Alinta Energy product on your storefront? So this is where you go up here, you click on menu. Under services, you would, under residential services, you'd find energy, and then you'd go ahead and click on Alinta Energy. Now, once you have access to those bills, you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to read them? What am I going to do? How am I going to compare them? Completely fine. There's another video, which is already available to us on this link here, where I actually go through and I show you how you can read the bills. And it gives you an understanding of how you can go through and you can read the bill and have an understanding of the bill. But if after watching that video still doesn't make sense, there's so many of us that are available. You can just reach out to any one of us and, we'd be more than happy to help. Now, let me share some interesting facts about Alinta Energy. So Alinta Energy at the moment currently has 1.1 million customers across Australia. You're probably thinking to yourself, that's great, good for them. Why are you sharing this with me? Now, the reason why I'm sharing it with you is because Alinta Energy is the only partner we have here at Connection, which allows us to upgrade existing Alinta Energy customers. So what does that mean? So that means if you have your neighbor who is already an Alinta Energy customer, but they're not your customer, but you want to invite them and you want to upgrade them to one of our new invitation-only rates, you have the ability to do that. You can go ahead and reach out to these 1.1 already existing Alinta Energy customers. If you know any of them, you can reach out to them, and Alinta actually gives you the opportunity to upgrade them, and then they become your own customer. If that's not amazing, I really don't know what's amazing. So let's go through, and you know what? The upgrade nowadays is actually really, really easy. So we actually have a video that Connection created for us and shows us how we can actually do that upgrade to Alinta. And at the moment, you can actually do it online. Gone are the days where you have to tell your customers, you know what, you have to call the Connection Alinta hotline, and you have to go through and you have to tell them this and you have to upgrade to this plan. That's out the window. Now, Alinta has made it super easy for us where you can actually go ahead and upgrade those existing Alinta Energy customers to whichever new plan we have online. And how we do that is, I will show you how you do that. Is like this. So you go, you get your customers to go through the Connection storefront, which I showed you before. They navigate to services, click on Alinta Energy. When they get to this screen, they put in their details, and where it says here, are you an existing Alinta Energy customer? You simply click on yes. The customer will need to verify themselves, and that's it. You go through the prompts and easy done. You can just upgrade those customers to the new invitation only, or any rate or any plan that comes up from here to the future. So now that everyone's all excited about wanting to get some energy services, there's a customer acquisition script which we like to go through and which we like to lean on when we're actually getting customers. So we're not salespeople here. We're leaning on the relationship, we're leaning on the friendship, we're leaning on the relationship that you have or the friendship that you have with that person. And what we generally lean on is we generally lean on the favor, help, try approach. So you give someone a call and you say, hey, look, I'm just calling you to ask you for a huge favor. I mean, you can chop and change this script based on what you feel is fit, but this is just the guideline. So you ask them for a huge favor. You let them know that you've started a part-time business. You tell them about your goal. You're only, X amount of customers away from reaching your goal. And I was wondering if you can help me. So you focus on the helping part. You focus on the favor and you focus on the helping. Then you just go out there and say, hey, look, if I can save you money on your electricity, gas, internet, and mobile service, mobile bills, would you give my services a try? It would really, really mean so much to me. So you're leaning on the relationship, you're leaning on the friendship, and you're just asking them to try. You're not saying, oh, hey, by the way, guess what? I've got some amazing rates. Let me do a comparison for you, and you go all into, you go all salesy on them. So no one wants a salesperson on the other end of the line. They want someone who's genuine and someone who actually wants to assist. So once they do that, once they send you their bill, you can go out there, you can compare it, and then you can come back to them. You can come back to them with, yes, you can save them, or no, you can't save them. So there's once you're also on the phone, you can also ask them some qualifying questions. If you wish to, say for example, it's kind of like a checklist or like a survey that you can go through. If you're talking to your customers about energy, just as a conversation starter, you can just say, hey, who's your electricity and gas provider? They might say, oh, you know what? I don't know. Fantastic. How about you send me a copy of the bill and I'll let you know who you're with? Or do you know how much discount you get? Most people actually have no idea what discount they get, and that's completely fine because you can say, you know what, that's okay, don't worry about it. You don't need to know what discount you have. Send me your bill, I will let you know your discount. The same applies for mobile and internet, etc. So I hope that was helpful, and I hope that gave you some insight and gave you some, some excitement to go out there and get some energy customers. But what I'm going to do, I am going to hand this call over to my favorite person, and that's none other than our Senior Vice President, Mr. Fung Yuan. This gentleman has, helped me for many, 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 many years, and he's helped you guys, no doubt, each and every single one of you. And, without him and Winnie pioneering this organization, we wouldn't be here. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Mr. Nguyen. And I believe we have some time to answer some questions, right?
Yes, we do, Rachelle. Well, thank you so much for your leadership and thank you so much for your training. We call you the queen of acquisition, especially for energy. And for the ones that don't know Rachelle, she actually has one IBO in a team that got over 628 personal points, and all of them are just Alinta Energy only. And based on what she has shared with you guys all here tonight, she's excited about Alinta Energy. There's so many great things happening with Alinta Energy. What she shared with you is from experience and from tonight's session here. We want to also make it practical at the same time. And I know a lot of you have a lot of questions in regards to energy. And the reason why we want to talk about energy this month right now, because the next 90 days is one of the best times to acquire energy service. Why? Winter is coming. And because winter is coming, and also 1st of July or 1st of August is when energy rates starts to increase. Our goal and our role right now is to get customers on the best rates before the rates start to increase. Now, if you all have any questions at all in regards to how to acquire energy services, please put in the chat. So Rachelle and I will bounce back and forth just to clarify a few things and tell you some tricks and tips in regards to how we get customers over the line. Now, Rachelle, maybe I can ask you quickly, how do you follow up on some of the energy customers that you looked at and the bills weren't competitive and were going to bid at the time? How often do you go back to them to do a follow-up to see if you can acquire them as a customer again? Because I know there's a lot of people in this call right now. There's some we can say, some we can't say, but they just leave when they can't say. But I know from you being in 5 years, there's people you couldn't say before. They came back because you revisit their rates and their plans, and then you got them as a customer. Can you share some of those thoughts in those areas, thinking of long term on what we can do to acquire these people as customers?
Yeah, 100%. So, I mean, being in the business for so long, you have some ups and you have some downs, you have some wins and you have some losses, and that's completely fine. I think just over the weekend, I reached out to someone who was an energy customer with me back in the day when we first got started. And, I reached out to him and I said, hey, Chaz, how's it going? Just wanted to let you know that we got an email that just came out, a couple of days ago, and we've got some new rates. I just wanted to do a quick health check just to let you know if we can or we can't save you. This happened to be that, he sent me his bill and I said, you know what, mate, you've got top-notch rates. Stay where you are, don't change. This guy has known me for a long time. I've built a relationship with him. He knows that I will let him know if he's on a good deal, stay where you are. If you're not on a good deal, come to me. I'll give you a better deal. So it's just about honesty. I guess, as you said, there's some people that we can save, some people that we can't. We're not saying that we can save for everyone, but for the majority that we can, it's just about, honesty. And every time we get a new plan, I go through and I have a look at my purge list, or I have a list of customers that I have. I go through and I just just send them a text, send them a voice message, give them a call, and yeah.
So do you send a voice message to people as well to get some build
Yeah.
something? Yes, okay.
If I get an email and I'm excited about all these new rates that I'm interested, I'm sending a voice message so they can hear how
Awesome.
excited I am.
And Rachelle, I know you talk about getting bills. I know there's a lot of people that's on the call that are new with us and don't know how to acquire customers. Rachelle did mention this is what we teach. If you don't know what to say to them, if you can just get a copy of their bill, your job is almost 90% done. Get a copy of the bills. Now, if you don't know how to read the bill, it is okay. Someone in your leadership team can help you read the bills, just whatever it takes, do what it takes, be creative. How can you get a copy of the bill? And your job is done. Now, Rachelle, how do you receive the bills? Do you tell them to send you an email, or do you send them on WhatsApp? What's the way that you direct your customers to send you the bills?
I think it depends on who you're talking to, right? If you're talking to an older person, you'd find something that is convenient for them. If you're talking to someone that is, tech savvy, you'll just say, you know what, how about you forward me an email, or how about you send it to me on WhatsApp? I think you just get a vibe on what you think they can or can't do, and then just facilitate that way.
Cool, awesome. Now, I know there's a lot of people here also have customers that they probably can't send you the PDF. Now, they probably need to do a screenshot of the bill. Now, obviously, you had experience in that area. I know a lot of people in our team experience that area, but a lot of them are taking screenshot of just the first page. Now, the first page is not required. What page do the customer need to screenshot to give to us so that we can actually read the bills? Which page is that?
Needs to be it needs to be the page that has the rates on it. If they
Okay.
send you the first page, it's great. You know how much they get paid, but it tells you literally nothing. I mean, not literally nothing. It gives you some information, but it doesn't give you enough information. So I'm telling them, if you can't send me the PDF and you want to send me a screenshot, make sure it's the page that has the rates on it. Screenshot it, send it through.
Awesome. And Rochelle, all the bills that you acquired over the years, the bills you collect, do you save them in a folder or do you just delete them straight away or you put in a Google Drive for you to always revisit? How do you keep organized with all these bills that you gathered in the last 5 years?
I generally, most of the time, I get them to send me emails, to be honest. But I mean, even if you have all the bills, I mean, I sometimes refer to them just to give me a sort of a comparison. If I get them in my email, I put them in a little folder. But generally, I prefer a newer bill because rates are changing all the time. What was applicable 6 months ago might not be applicable now. So I generally like to get a new copy of the bill. But if I were to keep them, I'd put them in a folder in my
Awesome.
email. So.
Also, Rachelle, I think this is very important for all the ones that's on this call also. Now, because these rates are more competitive and they're very competitive in the marketplace, we get exclusive deals with Alinta Energy. So just by the way, if all of us here has IBOs, you can provide rates to customers in the market that no one else can provide. I think you all need to understand what you have. I'll repeat that. Since you're part of the connection, since you have an online storefront, if people ask you why they come to you, because you give them rates that no one else can give. You can have people that shop online with Alinta Energy right now, they cannot get our rates. They only can get our rates via our website. So because of that, our credit check needs to be checked. And because of that, your credit rating needs to be good. Your customer's credit rating needs to be good. Now, Rochelle, if you had a customer that got credit decline for whatever reason, and for us, we can't check why. If it's credit decline, it's credit decline. If it's been declined, it's declined. There's nothing else we can do. But what is your plan B if, say, the spouse got declined? What would you do to try to push it through to get the order through?
You know what, you'd suss it out and see, who's living in the house. So if the spouse got declined, all right, great. How about we try your wife or your husband's name, or if your daughter, son over 18, how about we try that? So you always try, I mean, if it's declined, as you said, it's declined, but you just try and think of alternatives outside the box. Which other name can we put it in that live in the household? So yeah.
So if someone got declined, ask someone else in their house, they can try under their name.
Yes.
That's it. It's very simple. Okay. Now the last question is, I don't think anyone here has any question. If anyone has any question, put in the chat. Meanwhile, I'm asking Rochelle to exercise your mind. Rochelle, if you can give one tip for the new and the existing about energy and acquiring energy, what can you share with everyone on the call that could inspire them to motivate them to go out there and acquire more services?
You know what? I always say that energy is is your way to get in with services when it
Yeah,
comes to
your foot in the
connection.
door. Yeah.
Yeah, your foot in the door. It's one of the easiest services to get. Everyone that has energy, electricity. Some people don't have gas, but that's fine. But everyone has electricity. So
Mhm.
it can always be a starting point. It can always be a starting conversation to say, hey, you know what? You have an energy bill. Let me have a look. How much do you get discount?
Yeah.
You ask them questions, you get them curious. They probably don't even know answers to half the questions, but that's fine. You get your bill, you get a copy of their bill, and then you can answer the questions for them. So as you said, it's half your job done. So
Awesome. So hey, this everybody. This is all powerful tip, right? So Rachelle did mention, lead with energy. Whether you get them or don't get them, it's okay. Why? If you don't get them, you can ask for the next services. Now, Rachelle, do you have cases where you couldn't help them with energy services, but you checked the bills, you told them to stay where they are, but you got them as an internet customer, a mobile customer, or an insurance customer? Has that ever happened to you before in your
yeah,
career in the business?
yeah, 100%. I mean, if they've built that trust with you and you've told them, you know what, you're on a top-notch plan, don't change. Guess what? You've built trust with them. You've built a trust relationship with them, and they trust that you're going to give them the correct advice, so to speak, or the correct information. So if they've trusted you and you've told them, you know what, you're not just trying to be a salesperson just to get, you're
Mm,
actually leaning on the
yeah.
relationship, and you're actually letting them know genuinely that, stay where you are. Oh, but hey, this is what I also offer. Let me have a look at your internet plan. Let me have a look at your mobile plan. Let me have a look. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Cool, awesome. Now, Rachelle, I know you're an IT person, so you're quite detailed. I'm not a really detailed person, but someone did ask if you had someone else's bills and you have the rates, so you put it in like a spreadsheet or something, or you just only check the rates. Can you share from that angle how you actually help someone save?
You know what? Back in the day when we first got started, I used to go down the complicated path and I would actually do like literally do a bill comparison. I'd put it in Excel, I'd do a nice little comparison. But I figured that nowadays people can just easily have a look at the rates. You can just
Yeah,
look, you can see like,
absolutely.
is peak is, 40 cents, but with Alinta it's 31 or 32 or whatever it is. It's not rocket science. I mean,
Yeah.
go to the effort and you could go to the effort and put it in Excel spreadsheet and calculate and whatnot, but I try and steer away from that.
Wow, awesome. So you hear what they said, right? So Rachelle at the beginning, she did have a spreadsheet because everyone knew wanted details, but as she got more confident, as she got more experience, the spreadsheet is not required. Because let me ask all you a simple question here, right? You need to go and pour unleaded petrol, okay? With one petrol station, it's selling for $2, and the cross the road is $2.10. Which one's gonna be cheaper for you? $2. So the same thing comes here for energy rates. It don't overcomplicate the process here. We're not here to help everyone save, but the rates itself, we tell them they will save. How much? We can't tell them how much they save because every month they use different energy anyway. So you can't give them exact amount. You're actually lying to them. But if you tell them the rates, hey, by the way, you're paying 29 cents over here. With Alinta, you're paying 24 cents. Overall, you'll be saving. Even if you use more, you'll only get the cheaper rate. And that's what Rachelle is showing with us here from 5 years experience that she needs to go through a spreadsheet. And trust me, man, she goes through the spreadsheet, all right? Detailed spreadsheet, this customer will save this much. But over time, guess what? She doesn't need a spreadsheet anymore. If you can check the bill, you see what they're spending, what we're offering, that's all you need to get them as a customer. And Rachelle is telling you from experience right now, you don't need to do all that. You can just go straight to the end and keep it nice and short and simple. Now, I have some people that's asking us here, what about IBOs in state in Tasmania? What about IBOs in Canberra and they don't have energy? What would you advise them or advice you can give them in those particular states to still acquire energy services? Rachelle.
So if in another state there's no energy services provider, say in Tasmania, I would lead with another service. I would simply lead with another. I mean, but you could say, hey, say for example, if they come up to you and say, I live in Tasmania, and it's a shame that we don't have Alinta Energy in Tasmania, etc. But hey, who do you know in these 4 other states?
I like that.
Who do you know in these 4 other states that I can help? How about you?
Yeah.
How about, give me some referrals, give me some names. So
Awesome, Rachelle. Well, thank you so much. And we didn't by the way, we didn't script this. Rachelle had no idea I was asking her this question. She's only answering you based on experience and based on she experience so far. And so you gotta really acknowledge that experience we had. We have great leadership that teach you what you need to do. She just taught us why go here when you can go here. You guys know what I mean? So Rachelle, thank you so much for your leadership. Oh, baby, okay? Oh, yeah, baby. Where's mommy? Mommy will come. Mommy come. Mommy says. Mommy says.
oh,
Home-based business.
home-based business.
Okay,
That's it.
baby boy.
Real home-based
That's my boy not well. But it's okay, it's home-based. Anyone can come anytime they want. My son knows I'm here all the time. But hey, Rachelle, thank you so much for tonight's training. The call is recorded, so that we can always pass it on to the rest of the team. But can everyone do me a huge favor? Can you all just help me hand it back to Rachelle and appreciate her for her time? She got 2 kids that's running around right now. I need to put them to bed, but she jumped on this call just for us to share with her her knowledge and experience. So Rachelle, thank you so much for everything, and we appreciate you. We can't wait to see you. Now, for the rest of you guys here, just to really envision what you guys all have here, especially being energy right now, because as we all know from experience, the next 90 days is where you get the bulk of your energy services. Why do I say that? Because we know the energy rate is going to start to increase very, very soon. We know there's a lot of people right now have no idea what's going to happen. You've been in the energy sector or you've been in the energy business, we can start to tell you which month is the most important month to acquire energy. This month, next month to June to July. That's the most important time. And what you also need to acknowledge now is that winter is also coming. Now, if winter is also coming, let me ask you all a question. Do you want to change your rates before winter comes, or you want to change your rates during winter comes? What's the answer to that? You want to change before winter comes. Why? So then your rates will be cheaper when you're on the winter rates. Does it make sense to everybody? So if you understand that, then that's how you can have conversation with your customers. You tell your customers, hey, why don't you change your rates now before winter comes? Because winter comes, they're either cranking the heater on, gas heater or electric heater. That's when the bill starts to increase a lot. You see, you want to help your customers. So instead of give them a better rate, educate them, let them know when is the best time to make changes, okay? So energy is very important. Now, the reason why we talk a lot about Alinta Energy, and Rachelle touched base on this, that Alinta Energy is the very first energy partner that allows you and I to get exclusive rates that you can't get anywhere else. That's number one. But Alinta Energy is also the very first energy partner that allows you as an IBO, to go out there and look for the existing Alinta Energy customers all across Australia. And it's close to 1 million energy customers that's not with us, that you can look for Alinta Energy customers out there that's paying expensive rates. Guess what? Make contact with them, find out if they're with Alinta Energy, and upgrade them through your online storefront. Then you'll get points for it, you'll get a bonus for it, and you'll also get commission for it. Is that a win-win situation? Yes or no? Is that a great opportunity? Yes or no? It's one of the greatest opportunity they can always get. You see, there is no other product partners in connection right now that allows you to upgrade. If they're a mate customer, they're already a mate customer. If they're a Sumo customer, they're a Sumo customer. We are not able to touch them, but Alinta Energy allow us to touch their customers. Why? Why they allow us to touch their customers? Because getting new customers and retaining new customers is the same way for them. So they are paying you. They are paying us. They're paying all the IBOs to retain business by upgrading them through your channel. Why? Because if the Alinta is your customer, Alinta knows that you can look after them more than Alinta can look after them. Can you see the advantage of being a connection IBO? Yes or yes? If you don't understand that, if you don't think that is great, there's nothing else I can explain to you that will be great. But just to share some thoughts here about energy, where you should really focus here, these are the top 15 energy achievers in our team right now, all across Australia, and these are the top 15. And congratulations to the top 15. I feel bad because I can't call out these names. I'm not going to make an attempt to call out these names because I'm going to make a mistake. I'm going to butcher these names anyway. But hey, congratulations for top 15. I want you guys to keep note of one thing. Look at the top 5 IBOs. And look at the top 5 IBOs right now. Where are they in Australia? Can you see that? If you can't, slow down, zoom in and look at top 5. Where are they right now in Australia? Which state are they at right now in Australia? Victoria, 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 Victoria. Why do I say Victoria? Right now, Victoria is the cheapest. I'm saying the cheapest right now. If you looked at 10 bills, you'll at least save 8 in Victoria. Who do you know right now in Victoria? Victoria has the cheapest rates. They have electricity and gas. We give 2 servers right there. And I want to get Mr. Jose Vargas to jump on this call right now. He's from Victoria. Him and his team is dominating Victoria marketplace right now. There's not many IBOs in Victoria, but yet they're dominating energy service right now. So Jose, brother, if you're on the call, maybe unmute yourself. Jose, if you're on the call, and just share quickly, or sorry, Jose or Evelyn, if you're on the call, Evelyn or Jose, maybe you guys can just unmute yourself quickly and maybe just share quickly how you guys acquiring customers in Victoria. But more importantly, why is Victoria a great place right now to acquire energy service? So Evelyn, if you're on the call, thank you so much for jumping on. I know you're busy. And if you could just share just quickly why you're excited for Victoria, how many customers you signed up in the last 30 days, just let everyone know why this is the greatest time to acquire energy services. So Evelyn, the call is yours.
Hi everyone. Hi, phone. Yeah, so I'm with my daughter over here playing around. So sorry, I took a little while to jump in. Yeah, I love energy. I just love it because it's the way I help people to save. Um, I'm become an expert on it. So everyone in the community, like my community, Latin American community, Colombians mostly, they come to me and they know already where to go pretty much. So I get people just asking every day, hey, someone give me your number because I want to save, or someone gave me your number because I'm moving into a new place.
Mm.
And that's how I'm actually getting my customers.
Awesome, Evelyn. And are you acquiring a lot more customers the last 30 days since its rates have changed?
Yeah, because they are pretty cheap, like they pretty low. Every time I make a comparison, we always beat them. Like I
Wow.
haven't got a comparison that we haven't been able to beat the rates that I have. So yeah,
So
I'm
every
pretty
every
happy.
bill you got in Victoria, you're saving all these customers.
Yeah,
Man,
it
guys, I'm
is.
saying 8 out of 10, but Evelyn's saying 10 out of 10. Can you guys
Yeah.
see the opportunity now? Evelyn, you've been in the energy game for many, many years. Not always our energy is competitive, but you work what we got. And I know you've been with us close to 1 year. Have you ever seen these rates this cheap ever before in the last 12 months you've been with us?
No, and they were cheap, and now they went a bit low as well. So it's
Yeah.
it's great.
So
Couldn't ask for more.
Victoria rates was cheap last week, but it just became even cheaper. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome, Evelyn.
So
And
even better.
if there's one tip that you can give us here on this call, especially everyone on this call right now, just being trained on Alinta Energy, what would one tip you can give everyone on this call?
Talk to everyone. Just
Talk
let
to
them
everyone.
know that you're able to save them money. Let them know that you got exclusive rates, you got rates that no one else have, that they won't be able to get it out there, and you have them, and you will be able to help them. That's what I say to everyone. And
Cool.
I show when it says invitation only. I love to say that. I'm
Ah,
like, do you see
invitation
what it
only.
says invitation only? That's because you gotta throw me. So I love to
Ah,
say that. Yeah, that
awesome,
helps.
Evelyn. Well, Evelyn, thank you so much and appreciate you. And
Thank
by the
you.
way, Evelyn is 40 points away from hitting regional director. Most of
Almost.
her services right now in her organization is a purely all energy service right now. So she's the queen in Victoria right now. She's dominating Victoria. She loves Alinta Energy. She knows it's a great time to get energy service, and it's definitely a gold mine. So Evelyn, thank you so much for your leadership, sister. I can't wait for you
Thank
to hit
you.
regional director. Be the
Can't
first
wait.
Colombian regional director in our organization. Can't wait for that,
Yay.
sister. Congrats.
Bye.
Now, for the rest of you guys here, now that you've seen all these announcements, you've seen all this training, just FYI, we have an energy incentive on top of the compensation plan. So all of us should be rallying up right now. We have energy incentive on top of the compensation plan. So I want to narrow this down. If you want to set a goal for the next 30 days, because tomorrow is April, I will set a new goal for the month of April. If you're on this call right now, the number one goal you should be aiming for right now for next month in the month of April is all of us here get 10 services. All of us here get 10 services. Doesn't matter where the 10 services come from, get your 10 energy bills. Because if you get 10 energy bills, it will be $425. Can everyone put in the chat 10 energy bills, $425? 10 energy bills, $425. It doesn't matter where they are, the customers are. If we tell them to Victoria, go to Victoria. It's easy to get 10 services. 5 homes, electricity, gas. Your job is done, $425. So you want to set a goal in the next 30 days to aim for 10, do what it takes, get the 10 as quickly as you can so you can teach others how to do the exact same thing. So 10 energy services, $200, 5 homes, 10 services, $425. Your job is done, and let's get everyone paid. Can you imagine there is 100 people on this call right now, and there's $425 payout for every single IVL here? Can you imagine how much payout will happen in April? Can you imagine how much payout will happen in May? We're gonna make so much cash in our team that will create so much momentum rolling into the Momentum May event. Man, I'm excited when people get paid. So understand where the money's at, understand what you need to do. So this is the goal that you set for yourself. But the most important part is you need to set a goal for your team. So everyone that's on your team right now that's not on this call, I highly recommend you give them a call and you tell them, hey, don't worry about the past. Let's focus on the future. Let's focus on today. Let's just aim for 10 energy services. Where you focus, Victoria if you want, Queensland you want, it doesn't matter where you go as long as you get your 10. So reach out to your team, send a voice message to your team, send a video recording to your team, do what it takes and reach out to your team and let everyone know to give them small goals and give them a 30-day goal. If you don't set goals, you'll never aim for it. If you don't have a goal, you have nothing to shoot towards. When you have a goal plus a deadline, I will promise you, people will just move in your organization.